Yeah. So we'll try to go through these questions, some of the questions like 20, 30 till we get some ample amount of time so that you'll get some confidence out of it. Okay. Let's see this. And these are important related to the exam point of view, even outside interview all purpose as well. They are very important. And you develop a data engineering solution for Graphic Design Institute, a global media company with offices New York, Manchester, Singapore, and Melbourne. The New York office hosts SQL Server database that stores massive amount of customer data. Okay, so New York office has SQL that stores the massive customer data. The company also stores millions of images on physical server located in the New York service office. More than 2 TB of images data is added each day. The images are transferred from customer devices to server in the network. Many images have been placed on the server in unorganized manner, making it difficult for editors who search images. Images should automatically have object and color tags generated. The tags must be stored in document database and be queried by SQL. You are hired to design a solution that can store, transform, and visualize customer data. So he's saying that the images should be stored and should be able to search as well, sometimes with the tags. Okay, so the company identifies the following business requirement. You must transfer all images and customer data to cloud storage and remove on-premise services. Currently is on-premise. Now you need to move the customer data and as well as images to the cloud. You must develop an analytical processing solution for transferring customer data. You must develop an image, object, and color tagging solution. Capital expenditure must be minimized. Okay, the expenditure should be minimized. So the technical should be tagging data must be uploaded to the cloud from the New York office location. Tagging data must be replicated to regions that are geographically close to company office location. Images data stored in a single data store and minimum cost. Customer data must be analyzed using manager Spark cluster. Power BI must be used to visualize the data. All data must be backup and disaster recovery. Okay, and the security global region is also there. Okay, now you need to recommend a solution for storing image tagging data. So what is the solution for image tagging data? Image data. So it's saying that image tagging data, all the images you want to store. So what is the best mechanism to store the image tagging data? Blob storage. Yeah, so blob storage is the ideal solution for image tagging data. Okay, now you need to design solution for analyzing the customer data. So what is the better solution for analyzing the customer data? Azure SQL, yeah, Azure SQL data warehouse. Okay, so that's how the questions would be. Now see this interesting question. You're creating dimensions for data warehouse in Azure Synapse Analytical dedicated SQL pool. You create a table by using transact SQL T-SQL statement shown in the example. See here, what is showing that is creating a table and dimension product which has product key, product number, product source ID, product name, product number, and all those things. See the columns in detail. Okay, cell start date, cell end date, all those things are there. Now dimension product is showing which type of SCD, type 0, type 1, type 2. So can anybody tell? Slowly changing dimension. If you see the columns in the table, what SCD it is showing? Type 2. Yes, type 2 it is showing. Why? Because that is the PK product, unique column. Right? Sorry?
Because that is the identity or unique column.
Which one?
Product key.
Product key. But I'm asking is how can you determine that it has type 2 SCD? What is type 2 SCD? Type 2 SCD in the sense type 2 SCD where you preserve the history. The data will not be overwritten. Okay, so if you have the start date, end date, that means you have ability to store the previous data. Okay, so you have ability to store the previous data So that is the reason it is a type 2 column, type 2 SCD. Okay, type 1 means what? We don't preserve any data, we just override the data, we override the column. Say suppose you have some products like apple, orange and all. Okay, apple price is 20 rupees from September, January to June. Okay, 20 rupees. Okay, so next what you do is in type 1, if it is the cost is up, increased to 30 rupees, you will apply the 30 rupees, that's it. Is type 1, the data will be overwritten. All right, in SCD2 what do? You don't overwrite, you will say that 20 rupees from date to January to date to June. Then you will add one more row with 30 rupees from date to June till date is maybe like next 6 months or 1 year. So you'll preserve the history in type 2, type 1 you will overwrite. So here when it is there, cell start date and end date, so we are assuming that they are preserving the history. So that is the reason I suspect that, I determine that the type of SCD is type 2. Getting?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And the product key, what is the product key column here? This dimensional product, there is a product key column over here, identity int 11 not null. So it keep on increasing the dimensional general key. So what is the key here? Is a surrogate key or business key or audit column?
So business.
It is a business key. So because product key is the business key. Surrogate key in the sense when you try to merge these, load the data into this the tables, then they will generate on the fly and give the surrogate key. But here it's only saying the product key for the particular product which is incrementing here itself while inserting the data. It's more of a business key. Okay, so that's how you need to determine. And whatever we are discussing here, all those we discussed in the last 3-4 days. And most of the questions emphasis on Synapse only. And see here, you are designing a fact table named fact to purchase in Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pool. The table contains purchases from suppliers for retail store. Fact to purchase will contain the following. This is a fact table: purchase key, date key, and all. Fact to purchase will have 1 million rows of data added daily and will contain 3 years of data. So it has 1 millions of data added daily. Every day they will add 1 millions of the data. Okay, and transact SQL query similar to the following query will be executed. So this is a query. Select supplier key, stock item key, count star from fact purchase, where date key is greater than 2021-0101, less than this, group by supplier key, stock item key. Okay, and which table distribute will minimize the query times. Okay, so what is the key? So it's 1 million rows is there. And so what is the distribution mechanism that is ideal for this? It has 1 million rows every day.
Hash.
Okay, so hash distribution is two are there now. Again, hash distributed and purchase key, hash distributed and date key. So which one you'll go for?
Date key.
Purchase key, hash distribution on purchase key.
Okay, so hash distributed in the purchase key is the ideal solution. Date key in the sense there will be dates, will be so many dates, so there will be so many partitions, or sometimes the date can be only 10 to 20 dates. Okay, only 20 partitions will be done. So what happens? But the ideal will be you should have 60 partitions should be ideally used. The data should be evenly distributed, right? So that is the reason what I did. I took a purchase key, and based on the purchase key function, it goes on take the distribution and get a distributed will be ideal. Evenly distributed the chance of distributing the data evenly is more with the purchase key, because the date key may have so many less number of distinct keys or many number of distinct keys. So I'll go with the purchase key. And see here this one. You have a table in Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pool. The table was created by using the following SQL statements here. So this is some interesting question. Now you have employee key, employee ID. Okay, so here two things, and employee all the details. You need to alter the table to meet the following requirement. Ensure users can identify the current manager of the employee. Support creating an employee reporting hierarchy for your entire company. Provide fast lookup of the manager's attributes such as name and title. So you should add a key which determines the manager key. So which one you would choose? So you have employee key and employee ID, and here which one you will choose for the manager. So if you see here, manager employee ID, manager employee ID small int, manager employee key. So and manager name. Okay. So when you have such type of questions, you need to determine first what is the key that you need to take as main key for which a manager should be associated. Okay. Now if you see here, you have employee key and employee ID as well. Okay. So employee key is kind of a surrogate key. Employee ID is a business key here. Okay. Now this has the data from multiple sources. So this employee key is generated, and employee ID no longer will have distinct values now. Is it or not? Because say suppose from France we are getting some data where employee ID is 1 to 100. Okay. From India also I am loading the same data again, that also will have 1 to 100. So then employee ID will lose a distinct thing. So that is the reason what I'm trying to do. I'm generating a surrogate key called employee key, based on which that row will be determined. Right. Now what I need to do is, if manager key I'm trying to add, I need to add an employee key only. Getting, are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So employee key. So what I'll do now, obviously I'll go with the employee key only. What is the employee key data type? Int, right? So I'll go for this manager employee key int. So first thing what you need to do is, so even if it is int, these are the two are the ints. So obviously the data type will be int only. So the option will be either A or either C. The first thing, the first mapping, first filtration I will do int. Then I will determine if it is based on the employee ID or based on the employee key, that I will check. Now then I see that okay, it has both the things. One is employee ID and employee key. So employee IDs may not be distinct. So I'll go for the employee key, which was a surrogate key. Based on that, I will do the manager key. Is it clear?
Purushottam, do we define surrogate key like when the business data is duplicate?
So when it's not about business data, business key is duplicate. When the data is coming from the multiple sources for the same key, so there is a chance of duplications, right? So we need to assign a surrogate key in that time when you load the data into the data warehouse.